If you enjoy this podcast, then be sure to check out Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, where you can get your daily dose of farm wisdom. Tune in every day to learn the latest tips, tricks, and stories from the world of farming. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just getting started, our podcast has something for everyone. Join us as we explore topics like farm business, crop planning, soil management, and tools and technology. Start your day off right with Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe today.
You brought up a really interesting point about kind of, the reputation of working at Crystal being a big reason why you could sort of trust, what we were going to deliver before we ever did. And I think, that's another thing that I try to preach consistently on here is that, that's the importance. And I think you especially also understand this, like, that's the important reason why it's so good to go get on a crew, go get on a farm crew at an established farm that has a really good reputation, that is doing things right, not just because it's a paycheck, and not even just because it's experience, but because like you are sort of attaching yourself to that. And then so, you, in a lot of ways, I would say in the small ag space, it would be the equivalent of saying like, I went to this Ivy League college, before I became, it's like I went to Harvard Law and now I'm, I just passed the bar and now I'm ready to join a firm. And it was, and that's what it almost feels like, is it's like working for a farm like Diamond Hill, or working with Ashley at Roger Greens and Roots, or working with Nicholas at Crystal Organic, or, Love is Love, or we could go on and on and on. And that's just within like an hour of us. It's like when you do that, there is a reputation that comes with that, of knowing like, all right, this person has been taught the right things. This person knows what they're doing. And even still to this day, I can have a conversation with Nicholas, or a text message and be like, ask him a question, and he can help reiterate things like, like we were talking about it the other day, of like, just remember, man, like you were selling like you were selling in the farm, like you are there and you're the farmer. So you can say like, I grew this, I picked this. You can tell them everything about it. And people want that relationship with their food. It's not just, and obviously you farms grow to a certain size where it's like, you just physically can't be at every farmer's market every single time, and you have to begin to do that and sort of outsource the labor. But especially for a small new farm, like it's so important that it's like, I'm the one who grew it. I'm the one who knows what it took and what the quality is going to be like. And so, and just having that reassurance hammered in every single time we have a conversation is one of those things that, outside of experience, outside of, the clout or whatever, it's like, I have a veteran farmer who's been doing this since the year I was born, who can sort of take the things that have given him a reputation and distill it down and sort of hand it to me. And so, yeah, I've said it 1,000 times and I'll say it 1,000 more times. Like, get a job at a well-established, reputable farm, and that will do far more for you in this space than having the prettiest bunch of carrots ever will.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have to be full-time at that farm. It can be part-time, and you pick up on things, and not just the benefit of the knowledge and the experience that you gain, but the money that you will save if you go work part-time on a farm before you invest and go all in on your own farm is it's tremendous. You will save thousands and thousands of dollars if you go work part-time on a established, local, like sustainable farm that cares about what they're doing, cares about how they're growing food, just from like down to the tools that you won't buy because Johnny's has a sale, or the seed that you won't buy because you can get a good deal on it. You learn what grows in your climate. You learn what grows for your community. You learn the easier way to weed instead of being on your hands and knees the whole time, and being able to use a stirrer hoe the right way, or being able to use flat hoe and really like paint through aisles and paint through rows of spinach instead of tearing up every fifth plant of spinach in a row. Like you learn things that you can't learn at the same speed if you're doing it by yourself. One, because your brain is having to think about 1,000 things instead of 3 things in one day. Being a part of a crew on a farm instead of trying to run your own business and run a farm, because when you're running a farm, you're not just farming, you're also running the business side.
Mm-hmm.
So to learn the fundamental part of what being a farmer is before you have to learn the business side of things will save you a ton of money, but also help you be a better farmer and a better business person.
Yeah, and it could be like, hey, here's my tax guy. He really understands, what to do for farm businesses. We've used him for a long time. Hey, I've got to order stuff from farm supply company. It's coming on a pallet. If you want anything, it'd really help me out because it'll lower my, shipping costs, so on and so forth. There's so much that you can gain from doing that, and even pricing. I mean,
Yeah.
you and I have
Seeing
had a
sample wholesale sheets. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, that can make you a lot of money, save you a lot of time, and give you the confidence that you can actually send something to a chef that they're not going to look at it and just throw it away, or look at
Yeah.
it and just close the email. They're going to look at it and say, okay, this is a professional fresh sheet with prices, with the right names for different produce that
Uh-huh.
chefs, the way that chefs know produce. Like sometimes the language and the dialogue from a farmer about certain types of produce is different than what a chef will call something. So knowing like what to name stuff on a fresh sheet, how to price it out, how to make it look enticing, how to, if you have too much of one thing or not enough of one thing, to like price it accordingly so that you can get it out the door, or kind of space it out so all of your clients and all of your chefs can get a little bit of what you might have. Like stuff like that is another way that you can just save so much time and experience and doing something the wrong way. If you're working with someone experienced like Nicholas or like Carter or like Ashley or like any of the other really great farms in the Northeast Georgia area.
Hello, growers. Protect your crops from harmful insects with Modern Growers Insectinet. This top-tier insect netting made by Modern Grower shields your plants from pests and harsh weather, boosting your yields without harmful sprays. Insectinet's unique design allows 90% of the light to pass through and is easy to use with low tunnel systems like our Quick Hoops. It's soft, elastic, and durable, perfect for field use to help ensure that your crops thrive. Say goodbye to pest damage and hello to healthier, market-ready produce. Invest in Insectinet and see the difference it makes. Get Insectinet at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.